Forever live Bruce Lee. Forever live the legacy of Bruce Lee. Everyone knows who Bruce Lee is. And if you don't, you must have a medical problem. And I'm not beating up on you. I'm just saying, realistically, you must have a medical problem. Anyone on the the face of the earth that has television, cable, and so forth, they know who Bruce Lee is. And they should know his contributions to the martial arts world. And even to the world. He was more than just a martial artist. If we are honest with ourselves, all of those who are baby boomers who studied martial arts at a young age, such as myself, we give nothing but reverence and respect, honor to the fallen master we know as Bruce Lee, Lee Salong, Jun Fan, the greatest martial artist that's been exposed, I should say more properly, the greatest martial artist in the world that we know of. Now, there are people who are detractors, or they try to be detractors and say that he wasn't, that he was just, again, a movie star. But it's funny. If Bruce Lee was simply a movie star, how could he fool the whole world? He's not celebrated as the greatest movie star. He's celebrated as the greatest martial artist, and by the world. Now, if he's being celebrated as the greatest martial arts by the world by and large, he must be fooling somebody. He must have everyone confused, everyone disillusioned as to how good he really was. But not. No, he doesn't. Because we all know. I'm not playing the race card when I make this statement, but I want you to understand very, very well. Let's understand, and I'm going to slide this in and I'm going to slide right back out. Bruce Lee came up during the time in the 70s, early 70s, late 60s, where there were still racial tensions in America amongst whites and blacks. Not on blacks' part, because of the white supremacist mentality, ideology, always believing that they should be the best, be number one. They steal everybody's product, everybody's inventions, and they put their names on it and their patents and so forth. And they call it their own. Europeans have done that since day one. This is not something I'm making up. All you have to do is go historically and you'll find that to be true. But we don't like to have that being the narrative of the day. We don't want to hear that, do we? White supremacists. But with that said, Bruce Lee experienced racism as well, because it wasn't popular, it wasn't common for Asians to marry outside of their race during the time that he was coming up. So he got some bashing for that, him and Linda. But they loved each other. They married anyway. Despite what America thought, what China thought, they loved each other. And it was okay. And I say it's okay. Anyone can pick anyone that they love and marry that individual, regardless of color or race, nationality, religion. So, during that time, he broke the racial barrier for Asians. Now, I see Asians all over the place that are married to whites and blacks and various other nationalities. And it's okay. Nothing wrong with it at all. Now, Bruce Lee also was responsible for making the martial arts in the world popular. Some people want to give that acclaim to the movies Five Fingers of Death when it broke the box office here in America. Five Fingers of Death with Lo Lei. But you know what? Bruce Lee's first movie and Lo Lei's came out during the same period of time. Within that same year, 1973, 1972, 1971, Bruce Lee's movies and Lo Lei's movies in production and also going to the screen. So don't try to fact check me and go in here and say, oh, was this particular date, brother teacher? Actually, it's not important. I'm in there, okay? I'm in the ballpark. The specific date is not important. The fact is that Lo Lei, Five Fingers of Death, is not what made martial arts popular across the world. If it were so, we'd still be talking about it today. But we're not, because we know Bruce Lee did it. His on-screen charisma, his physical physique, rivaled by none at that time. His relentless training regimen, his dedication and devotion to his art, and honestly expressing himself. And he did just that. They always say that the good die young. He was no exception. He was great, and he died too young. Bruce Lee is remembered by the martial arts community worldwide. By Hong Kong, he's still known as the hero of China. They erected a statue to him some years ago that they fought for years, and they finally did it. I don't know of any other martial arts personage or personality that has that type of respect. I love Donnie Yen. I believe he has a statue somewhere, and maybe Jackie Chan as well. But Bruce Lee is numero uno worldwide in martial arts, and even Jackie Chan said that he respected him, and Bruce Lee would kick his behind in a real fight. And even Jet Li said that he's my elder. Donnie Yen said similar things of praise. Bolo Yeung, whose real name is Yang Zi, he spoke highly of Bruce Lee. Jean-Claude Van Damme, and the list goes on and on and on. I'm talking about those who speak positively about the dragon. Forget the naysayers. So I say again as I begin this video, forever and long live Bruce Lee, the dragon, because he will never, ever, ever die. No matter what martial arts surfaces, no one will ever be as good as Bruce Lee and have the impact that Bruce Lee had on the world. Now let me back up again before I conclude this. I said never be as good as Bruce Lee because there's going to be some people that's going to talk down about that. When I say as good as Bruce Lee, I'm talking about the impact that he had overall in martial arts. I'm not saying no one can be as good as him physically or skill set and so forth. I'm not saying that. All right, so I wanted to clarify that, and I hope I did. So again, Bruce Lee, we love you, and you are truly always in our hearts, and you are missed. So long.